G'day, Steeler Nation. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. It keeps getting crazier and crazier. Do something. Come on, do something. The Pittsburgh Steelers are doing a lot of things. And when I woke up this morning, I did not expect a few of them. MYLES Jack being cut. They've re-signed a linebacker. We're going to talk all about that. Also, we're going to talk about the chance of Bud Dupree. If he's healthy, he might be coming back to the Steelers. If he's healthy. That's the report I'm hearing anyway. So I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. Hit that like, hit that sub, do all those YouTube things that, if you want to do it, do it. Now, here's to catch up a little bit. So when I woke up this morning, we found out now that Patrick Peterson will be wearing number 20. So this was released, I think, on Pittsburgh Steelers Twitter, that Peterson will be wearing 20. That's Cameron Sutton's old number. It's also, if you remember, Brian McFadden, who's won 2 Super Bowls with the Steelers, he wore 20, and Brian McFadden is Patrick Peterson's cousin, if you didn't know that. So that's some cool news there. Patrick Peterson to wear 20 in 2023 for the next 2 years. Now, another catch-up from yesterday. The Steelers signed Cole Holcomb. Apparently, he's passed his physical, and he's signing a 3-year deal, $18 million, right? So that's awesome to see, per source. The new middle linebacker and signal caller for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And we saw that yesterday too, that he was the captain of the Washington Commanders, had a bunch of tackles, and he wore the green dot. So it looks like he might be the new caller in the defense, right? But there's still more to come. You're thinking, hang on a minute, is that it? The Steelers have now released MYLES Jack. The Pittsburgh Steelers released MYLES Jack. They brought in Holcomb yesterday. We saw Spillane go to the Raiders. And now at the middle linebacker position, it's completely new. My expectation this year was extend MYLES Jack or reconfigure his contract and keep Spillane. It's been thrown out the window, but I'm okay with it. I really am okay with it, right? So the Steelers have released MYLES Jack, and they brought in another linebacker. And I will link this article in the description below. Shout out to Behind the Civil Curtain. I will link that in the description if you want to read that. Right, Steelers add another linebacker, Elandon Roberts, to a 2-year deal. So we now have Roberts and Holcomb, 2 new blokes there. But that's not saying, I'm not going to say that right away that those 2 blokes will be the starting middle linebackers. But right now, going to the draft, they have to be. Those 2 dudes have to be. One kind of funny note too, that Tom Brady has a touchdown to Roberts when he was a Patriot, actually. He was lined up in the backfield as like a fullback, and he has actually a touchdown. He ran away for like 45 yards. And more on Roberts too. More on Roberts. I found this tweet too. I was going around Twitter all day today, all this morning. I found a tweet here from Daniel Valentine or Valenti. Shout out to him. He says, Elandon Roberts had more tackles for a loss, 10, sacks, 4.5, and quarterback hits, 6, than MYLES Jack, Robert Spillane, and Devin Bush combined. It tells you everything you need to know about why the Steelers are revamping their linebacker room. Now, I did have time this morning. I did go into the YouTube land, look up highlights for both Holcomb and Roberts here too. And I found what I've found so far, and it's only highlights, but I have found that both players are very physical. They love to run down into the box, get messy, meet the running back one-on-one, try and smash him in the face, chase after the quarterback. They're very physical players. Now, we saw that with Spillane, but we didn't overly see that last year with Devin Bush. Ever since Devin Bush injury, it's been a mismatch. He just didn't, in my opinion, he didn't like tackling. So it's good to see that this fella had more stats in 1 year than Jack, Spillane, and Devin Bush all combined. So that tells you that, yeah, they're trying to upgrade there. They're trying to get more physical at that point. And also, they're both captains. Roberts was captain as well on the Dolphins. And the Commanders, Holcomb was a captain too. So we're getting 2 former captains to come over for a bit of leadership. And hopefully those 2 fellas can work hand in hand and have a good, middle linebacker relationship. Now, it just doesn't stop. There's so much going on, and I don't know what direction to go in. But I want to end it with this, because I'm pretty happy with those linebackers. I know MYLES Jack, I was kind of keen to see what he was going to do this year. I was really happy, actually, when MYLES Jack came over to the Steelers. I was ecstatic from what he did with Jacksonville. I thought he can be a veteran guy. But obviously, the Steelers want to move on and go a different direction, and cutting him saves money, and bringing in two new blokes, it's kind of like a whole new linebacking room. But speaking of linebackers, the Bud Dupree talk continues. Shout out to my mate Mackenzie Miller, who works for and runs the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate, lives over there called Ask Mackenzie. She tweeted this out and it got my attention. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, Bud. And smiley emojis times 1,000. So shout out to you, Mackenzie. You're doing fantastic work. From a tweet here that says, Steeler Nation Podcast, as long as Bud Dupree checks out health, right, health-wise, he's going to return to Pittsburgh. Now, I did some research on that. I did find a few articles, and it does seem that way. It does seem that way. If Bud Dupree checks out health his health and he's all sweet to go, pretty much, the Steelers might entertain that idea of bringing Bud back. Now, I would presume and say they would bring him back on a 2-year, maybe a 3-year deal, something really cheap, like, I don't know, $4 or $5 million. I'm no cap expert, but what's been happening the last few days with 2-year deals and the Holcomb signing at 3-year 18, you probably think something similar for Bud. Now, this would be awesome to see, right? Because pretty much the whole defense is changing, but you have the Stapleton guys with Minka at the back, right? Still no news on Terrell Edmonds. No news on Terrell Edmonds. However, you have Minka, Cameron Haywood, Larry Ogunjobi, Highsmith on one side, TJ Watt on the other, the two new middle linebackers. And if you bring Bud back, the whole defense is kind of new because Patrick Peterson's there too and no Cameron Sutton. So let me know in the comments below. Do you think it's going to happen? I think the rumor is heating up so much. I think it will happen, but I'm not too sure. Every morning I wake up, I get surprised about what the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing, right? Come on, do something. I get surprised every time. So tomorrow or the next day, will we see Bud in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform? Anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. I'll be going live today around my lunchtime, around 2 hours time, to cover these things and talk football because there is so much happening. We've got two new middle linebackers. We've got Patrick Peterson, Hall of Famer, cornerback, signed Ogunjobi, right? Minka restructured his deal. There's a lot going on, but it's fantastic. All right, guys, thank you for checking out Steelers Nation Australia, and I'll see you next time.